Okay, hello everybody. In this video, we are going to take a look at how to get user input from the keyboard. We're also going to look at how we can do some processing and then solve a problem and send some new information back out as output to the user. What we're also going to look in this video is how to use the IDE, the NetBeans IDE. We're going to look at some of the tools. And you're also going to get a chance to see how a programmer creates programs. So you might be starting off and you're making lots of mistakes, or there's typing errors, or there's little syntax errors where you forget commas and semicolons. And I think this video is going to show you that that happens to everybody. So I've been programming now for about, well, almost 20 years. And I'm still making little mistakes. If I write 3 or 4 lines of code in a row, then I'll usually make a mistake somewhere in those 4 lines. So that's the nature of programming. So you should just embrace it and kind of enjoy it. So we're going to make a new project here, a Java application. And I'm going to call this area of triangle. And you notice this is called camel notation, the way I name my files. So area, and then the O is capital and the T is capital, and it's a nice way. No spaces. We don't want any spaces in our file names. And I just click finish. Now you will have noticed, we haven't addressed this yet, but there's these are kind of commented lines of code that are in here. And these actually don't get executed. So they're actually just some comments that you could have. And if you delete these, it won't alter your program. So a lot of times some of our programmers just delete those right away. And as you know, your main program goes in this area, so I like to leave some space. So in this program, we're going to actually read some information from the user. So we're going to have to import the scanner package. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to type import java.util.scanner. See, I've made a mistake already. There we go. And then in my main program, I'm going to do what's called instantiating the scanner. So the scanner, I can now access the scanner code, but it doesn't actually exist in my main program yet. So I'm going to instantiate that right here. And how did I do there? Any errors? Yes, capital C. I seem to do that a lot. There we go. So now I've instantiated my scanner. I've called it keyed input. So I should be able to get some information now. In this program, we're going to determine the area of a triangle. So I'm going to need a few variables here. I'm going to need to know the base of the triangle. Whoops, see. I'm going to need to know the height. And then I'll have another variable for the actual area. And then I'm going to output to the user, please enter the base. So we're going to start off by having them enter the base. So a quick shortcut that you could do on your computer, I'm going to type the letters S-O-U-T and press the tab key very quickly. S-O-U-T tab. And you see what happened there. It actually printed system.out.println for me. So that's a nice little shortcut. So I'm going to have systemout.println, and I'm going to be very nice to our user. I'm going to say, please enter the base of the triangle. And I'm going to store that in base. So I'm going to go base, and watch this. As I write keyed input, and I press the period, you see a whole bunch of suggested lines of code pop up. And this is a cool feature of NetBeans. So if I forget, is it next D or next double or next DOU? When I just hit that period, I can see next double shows up right there. It tells me what the command does. And so I can just press enter and it fills it in for me, which is very cool. As a programmer, I want to be as efficient as possible. So I'm actually going to copy this code, paste it here, and I'm going to ask for the height of the triangle. And just change the variable here. I'm still reading in the double. So now I've received the base and the height. So now it's time for my processing or my formula. So I'm going to go, now the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So I'm going to go base times height divided by 2. And order of operations matters. So you're familiar with BEDMAS, bracket, exponent, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. In this situation, it shouldn't make a difference, but I'm going to put brackets here anyways to allow the multiplication to occur first, and it's going to divide it by 2. I'll type SOUT tab, and I will say the area and on the next line I will output the actual value. Whoops. There we go. We want to output the area. And so I've got some extra white spaces in here. I'll delete those. So here I've declared my variables. I've asked the user to input some values. I've received those values for base and height. I've done the equation, and now I'm going to output the actual value. And you notice in here, area is not in quotation marks. If area is in quotation marks, it will actually output the word area. I don't want to do that. I want to output the value of the variable area. And then I click run the program. Please enter the base of the triangle. Let's say it's 10 centimeters. Please enter the height. It's 15. And so the area of this triangle is 75. Perfect.